Let's talk about how to write the unit test cases for the controller classes. In this course, I'm using this same application, and over here you will notice that we are having one books controller. The most important point to notice over here is that this books controller has a dependency on this iBook repository. This is some other service that we are using in this controller, and we are using it by using the dependency injection. Now, as you know that whenever we are writing the unit test cases for this particular method, how do we do it? We create the instance of this books controller, and then from that instance we call that method. If I do like that, then I will have to pass the instance of this book repository also. So how we are doing it? We are writing new books controller. If I will open my helpers unit test cases, then you will notice that at this place, I was creating the new instance of this math helper class, and this is not a C# class. This is coming only from this helpers, this math helper class. So it means we will have to create the instance, and from that instance, we have to call the methods. Now let's do the same thing for this books controller also. So at this place, I'm writing my first unit test case. Suppose at this place, I want to write my unit test cases like this. So, and because this is going to be an async method, this is an async method, so we have to write that async keyword at this place. Just like the concept, we have to create the instance of this controller. So here I'm writing controller, and at this place you will notice that if I'm creating the instance of this books controller, it is expecting the instance of this book repository. If I will pass the actual instance over here like this, this is also one of the way we can pass the instance like that. But again, there will be some more problem. What is the problem? This book repository also has a dependency on something else. What is that? That is the DB context. So if I go over there, you will notice that this is my books repository. This has again another dependency on this library DB context. So it means we'll have to pass all those instances. And ultimately, when you will call that get all books method, then it will hit the actual code. This one I'm talking about. If it will hit the actual one, then you will get the data from your database. It means you are hitting your main database, and which is something not a good practice. So in the previous video, we were learning about the mocking concept, and for that we were using mock library. Now let's use the same library over here in this application, and we will write the unit test cases by mocking. How do we do that? So for that we have to open the NuGet packages. Either you can use the dotnet CLI command just like we did in the previous video, or you can also use this GUI that is given by this editor. The similar UI is also available in VS Code and the Visual Studio. So here I'm searching for this mock library, and I want to install it in this one. Install it. Installation is done. If I right click over here, go to edit, click on this CS pros file, you will notice that we are having this mock library at this place. Now we have to mock those things. So how do we mock it? So first I'm writing book repository mock. And how do we mock it? By using this new keyword mock, and over here we have to pass that iBook repository like that. The mocking is done. Now on this mock, we have to set up our method. Which method we are talking about in this particular action method? We are talking about get all books async method. Let's do that. So how do we do it? Books dot setup. And in this one, we have to use x dot get all books async method. This method is not expecting any parameter. We will not pass anything over here. We are expecting this list. Let's use the proper namespace over here. Now here is very important catch. So at this place you can notice that we are using this returns async. The alternate is that at this place you can use this result, and you can simply use the returns over here. Now let's learn how we are setting it. What we are saying that if I'm calling this get all books async method, then it will return an empty list of book. We don't want that. We want the actual data over here. So we can set up our output. So let's use the output. Suppose this is the output that I'm expecting. So what is this? This is just the dummy data, and it has two objects of this books. It has few properties, ID, title, authors, those things. And let's say I'm setting up that it must return this kind of data like that. This will work perfectly fine. Now what will happen? We have to pass that instance that we are creating over here in this books controller. How do you do that? So The instance is available in this books repository mock. So let's do that. Books repository mock dot object. What is this object? So this object is the actual mock instance that we can pass in this controller. Now we don't have to worry about that DB context. The reason is that if you will call that get all books async method, this will not hit the actual method. It will simply give the data, this one, the one that we have set up over here. So this was the arrange part. Now we have to act it. Act how? We have to get the result. And how do we get it? Controller dot get all books. And because this is going to be the async method, so we can use that await keyword at this place, and that's it. Once it is done, we have to write the assert part. There are few ways to assert that data. Suppose let's not do that one for now. What I will do, this result will have two objects of this books. So let's keep it simple for now. This is also one of the assert that we can have over here. Let's just recap what we did quickly. As a first step, we installed that MOQ library in this unit test project. Then we were writing the unit test cases for this books controller, and we were writing the unit test case only for one method over here. Now because this controller has a dependency on this iBook repository, so we must mock it. And how do we do that? We are mocking that data over here. We are creating that new instance over here, new mock that iBook repository, and we are setting up our method. If we are setting up the method like this, then we are passing what is the output that we are expecting from this method if we are making a call to this one. So this is that data that we are setting up. Result. Now we are actually calling that get all books method from the controller. So this is my controller, and this is the method that I am using now over here. Now at this place I will get some data, and what I'm checking that the output must be equal to what we are getting in this result. We can also do some more asserts over here. What is that? So if I'm writing this book repository, we can also verify that how many times this method was called. So how do we do that? This is again by using the lambda expressions. We have to pass the method that we are going to test, and in the second parameter we can pass how many times this method was called. There are quite a few options over here. It's like at least one. This method will be called at least one, or at most one, or more than one, or none. So there are few options. We will also cover all of them in upcoming videos, but for now this is the method that I am doing. Let's just test it and see how this is working. So to run this, I'm just simply clicking on this button, run, and see how this will behave now. At this place you can notice that this unit test case is failing. If I click on that, you will notice that the value is different. It says that it has the output, but this one is null. Let's talk about what is that. But before that, if I will comment over here this line and execute this unit test case again, then see the behavior. This time you will notice that this unit test case will pass. So it means this line is failing, but this line is getting pass. So how this is getting pass? As per this line, if we are calling this get all books method from this controller class, then exactly once this method should get called. So it means exactly this method should get called once, which is happening over here. But now let's talk about that line. This line depends on how you are writing your action method. So over here you will notice that we are using this task, we are using the action result. So this is how we are returning our data. It means the type of this result over here is that action result enumerable of book. So whatever you are writing over here is available at this place. Now if I rewrite this method like this, instead of returning this OK result, if I'm returning only the simple books, this is also a valid method over here. Now this time you will notice that if I will just enable this line, and this time there is no value over here. It's because we are getting the actual data. See the type over here, the type is again this enumerable book. That action result is gone from here. Now let's just execute this unit test case again and see how this will work. You can notice that this unit test case is pass. If I want to check the count, suppose like that, run it and see how this will work. You can notice that this is still success. In the next video, we will talk about what is the logic of this return type over here. What will happen if you are using that action result over here, or you are simply using the action result, or you are returning something else like this over here. In that scenario, how can you make sure the assert is working fine for your unit test case? That is all in this video. Thank you for watching.